What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Today we are going to take a deep dive into a knife that is having lockup issues. In the unboxing of the Remet Rhino with the button liner lock is failing. Now, it wasn't easy to get this knife to fail. It passed all the way up and then all the way back down. And then when I did the last test towards the tip with the right amount of force, it did get this knife to pop that lock up. Now, this should act as a standard liner lock, and I have its twin brother here. This is the even more affordable version with studs and a rear flipper, but there's no button. It's just a regular liner lock, where this is a rear liner lock deactivated by a button. So in essence, the same thing. And upon doing this knife, it was before I had this one, I thought, maybe is it the coated blade? It's a new knife, coated blade, coated liners. Could that be causing the issue where it's slipping, right? And then I got this one not long after, and this one is rock solid, no issues whatsoever. So I started to think maybe it has nothing to do with the coating. It's a geometry issue with this one or something. But then I started thinking, well, what if this knife has extra coating built up on there just from, whatever. There might be something extra on here. So, and then I started thinking, well, it might be worth testing this out. And if we can get this knife to pass, then we might be onto something. Now, even if this knife fails, I plan on taking a couple of other knives that are failing lockup that have a coated liner and blade. This is only going to work for instances like that, where it's a coated blade, coated liner, and that coating is possibly causing the issue. Now, I had the pivot started so that way it wasn't such a pain on camera. So there is our collar and our bottom there. Can we get him to come out? Let's see if we can take it apart from that side. So that's our, it don't matter because this is, they are not yet doing pivots. They're still doing double-sided pivots. We need captured pivots, just so it's a little bit easier to work with, right? So there we have the show side liner off of this guy. So what do we have here? We have our blade. We have our bearings there. 14C 28N. How is that captured there? So we have our liner, our blade, and our bearings here. So let's take those off. We'll move this. Oh, so they have that attached to the liner. Interesting. So let's take a look at this. I wonder if that, can you see that mark there? Now, mind you guys, I'm doing very light taps on this. I'm not smashing it like it's a baseball bat. That's interesting. I thought this would be like a spring compression. I wonder how they have that on there. So we're going to, so the lock face has been removed. The coating has been removed there. So we're going to have to take this apart and see if we can get somewhere on that liner. So that'll be, do we need to take, yeah. Well, it ain't really going to help anything any if I do. So I'm just going to take some basic sandpaper here. This is kind of what I just had close by. Now, this could change to the point where it's better. This could mess it up even more. We don't know. I also want to, I'm going to take, so we'll just take this and kind of rough this up, because I'd hate for this to be, you know, a culprit and put the knife all back together and then we find, you know, we shouldn't be changing anything to the point where it's going to cause any more issues, because the issue is already present. So, you know, and this isn't a rough enough grit that, you know, it'll be changing a whole lot. So I'm hoping just taking a little bit. Now we're going to have to clean these up a little bit, but hopefully our findings are that this works, that it's worth doing this video and it's worth doing after this point in time. Now, I'm wondering if that coating, you know, that could be, we're basically trying to see if we can further the break-in process, so to speak, because on a knife like this, the coating could be everything that is the issue. But like we had on its twin brother here, no issue. So it might be worth even pulling that one apart as well and kind of diagnosing that one. So instead of making this a brutally painstaking video, I pulled off, and now we're going to start. I have the whole lock face sanded. I just took the paper, I kept it as flat as possible, and just kind of worked that coating off. I wasn't grinding on it. And another thing I noticed was on the ledge of the lock face here, like right when you work your way down onto the flat here by the detent ball, there was like, you could tell there was almost like a little buildup of paint. So I kind of took that down just to the base layer there. So we're going to clean this up and see if we can get this corrected. That would be a huge win for us if we can get this figured out and it not continue to fail. That would be a huge plus. Now, should we have to do something like this, you ask? No, we shouldn't. This is something that should be caught and corrected in the production process. Now, of course, there's always going to be cases where, you know, things will always get by. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, so to speak. You know, nobody's going to run this many knives, you know, in that big of a production and not have some sort of issues along the way, whether it's material related or an edge not being the best or whatever it might be. There's always going to be a little bit of issues, but the less amount of issues, the better. So, and I didn't sand this so that way everything was kind of landing. I kept it straight up and down so there would be as minimal dirt, debris, dust, shavings, whatever to land in here, but we'll get it cleaned up the best we can. So I would say we are pretty cleaned up there. We'll put a dab of oil in here. And this is a knife that I bought with my own money. So whatever happens, happens. It's not the end of the world, so to speak. So this is the clip side. So we should be able to, it shouldn't matter which way we run through. So we'll take our bearings here, or no, I guess we need, oh, it has it, okay. It's got the ring, our back spacer's there. So I'm very interested to see what happens. Now the Remet Rhino, the twin brother here, the green one, that one was sent in by Remet for me to take a look at and see what the scoop was with that one, test it and all that stuff. And that one's done very well. And this knife, except for that issue, this knife is awesome. So I love the button actuated liner lock idea, and I was hyped on this knife during the unboxing. That video is not up yet, but by the time you're seeing this, it should be. And although we didn't test the lockup in the video here, I did test it off camera before we started, just to, make sure that it was still doing it, which I knew that it was. Let's see here. And boom, boom, boom. So there is our other washer. We'll take this guy, wipe him down, give him a little bit of lubity lube, put that on, put the liner back on, button first, and we'll put this guy. I can say that the way they did this is interesting. I mean, maybe it's not. Is that going to work there? We probably want to get this in. As far as the button itself, that's kind of an interesting take on the button actuated liner lock there. I didn't know, for some reason I didn't think it would be connected to the liner. Okay, we'll just tighten him up a little bit. So we're almost to the moment of truth here. Probably all for nothing, but so that's almost dead nuts, if you will. Almost. We'll give it so it's like dead nuts right there. Confirm. Okay, we have solid lockup. There's a tiny bit of side to side. I wonder if we can tighten that up a little bit more. I want to give this every chance that we can. So I think we're center. That did take a little bit of it out. All right, here we go, guys. Let's see what we got. Was this all for nothing? Or? All right, we have positive lockup. And it almost looks like we have a little bit better lockup from what I remember. So let's see. Really? Guys, that fixed it. No kidding. That fixed it. Woohoo, baby! That move right there, it was about right here. Right there where it starts to flatten up. And then just a pop was getting it to punch open. And it was weird. If you go back and reference the unboxing, you can see I test it from here, you know, all the way up the spine, and then I kind of come back out and hit it like right here and give it one good pop. Nothing, I'm not hitting these really hard. So they're just taps, guys. I mean, seriously, it's not that big of a deal. So something like that is a big enough issue that if you come up on some sort of material or anything like that, any which way you could imagine smacking the top of your blade off of something, whatever it might be, like I always say, it's hard to duplicate or replicate something that happens on accident. It's not purposeful. You're not doing it on purpose when, you know, you come up into material or you have a quick jolt because you went too far in a cut or whatever it might be. That is the issue with that whole lockup thing. And we just want knives that are meant to lock up. And there we go, guys. Now, that is fantastic news. I had no idea that that would actually work. I only had hopes because when this one came in and it was passing the same exact test, guys. I do the same thing now, judging how much force I'm putting on it. You know, that's, I can't really, you know, control that, but I can say they're all light to medium taps. Knives that I can push a little harder, i.e. cold steel, off-grid, Demco locks, those can be pushed a little harder. But things like these with liner locks and even button locks, those are light to medium taps. Something that's very easily doable on accident when you're hitting it off the spine. And this guy is solid, so it really put a spoil on my idea that, well, maybe it's the coating. And I'm not 100% sure. And I show lockup in that unboxing, and I might have even showed it in this video, but it looks like we have a lot better lockup here than we did when I unboxed this. I'll show it up close here. There, you can see that, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and reference that unboxing, but whatever we did, that little bit of sanding on the tang, and then it could have been the face. We would have had to put it back together 3 times and take it back apart to know. We could have just done the tang. That might have been it. It could have been that little ledge where it works up onto the liner itself. I noticed there was just this, and we're talking, guys, it could be the difference between something that is unnoticeable. You know, a layer of paint that is 1/1000th or whatever it might be, it's so minuscule that you might not even know that it's there. That could be the difference between a positive engagement of that lock. So, we took everything off from the ledge. I kept that straight so it's still at its nice angle. I just kind of took that base layer off of the coating, and then I just lightly took that 80 grit and took it over the top there, kept it as flush as I could, as level, flat as I could, and we have solid lockup now. The ultimate thing is going to be do a couple more that come in that are coated. Maybe the liners are coated, but the blade's not, or maybe the blade. We'll just have to kind of toy with it and see. But you can bet the next knife we have in that, a satin finish on an uncoated liner, I don't know that maybe it would be worth checking, but for sure, a coated on coated will be worth checking out. That's a big step right there, in my opinion, for kind of solving that. If you have something like this, that's a liner lock, that's a huge step in the right direction on lock failure and kind of solving that issue. That is just huge. I did not think for sure. I thought there was maybe a 40-60 chance, 40 that it would work and 60 that it wouldn't. So that is awesome. At this point, I'm just wasting your guys' time. But feel free to let me know if you have something like this that's a liner lock that's failing and it's coated, and you do that same process and now it's passing. Let me know, because that'll be all the more intel that we have at our fingertips, and we can start honing in on this type of stuff and coming up with cures for each other. That's what this is all about, the knife community, and getting what is best for us and having the best results for all of us that are paying for a product. And as there might be QC slips, like this one, this could be just mine and a very limited number. But now we have a possible fix for it. And in my book, that is just fantastic. Like I said, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Let me know if you have any more information on stuff like this and what you've come up with yourself. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it, guys. Helps the video, the channel, and I appreciate it most of all. If you're new here or you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below the video. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.